All right, welcome everyone to Aspire to Lead Cohort, Unlocking Your Leadership. This is an introductory webinar, and I'm so happy that you're here today. Also, there's several people that have emailed me today saying that they couldn't make it, and so I'm recording this webinar, and I'll be sending out the link to everyone, so that way, I know this is a busy time of year. Halloween's tomorrow. There's a ton going on at the campus level. So for those who are in attendance, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Joshua Stamper. I am the leadership coach for this Aspire to Lead cohort. Just a little bit about myself. I was an assistant principal for almost a decade, have been working with leaders for the same amount of time, been doing a lot of different things with aspiring leaders, such as writing a book, Aspire to Lead, but then also having a podcast that's been running for 8 years now. And all those projects, all those things that I've been doing for the last 10 years have been based on a program that was started with aspiring leaders. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. But the reason for this cohort is that I made a lot of mistakes within my leadership journey. I was tapped on the shoulder very early in my career. It was after my third year of teaching. I went to go get a cup of coffee. I was really just trying to wake up as I was about to go to football practice as a coach. And my assistant principal came out of nowhere and had a really important and impactful conversation with me, which led to a question of, have you ever thought about being a principal? I honestly laughed at him because I thought he was joking. I didn't actually see that inside of myself. But with enough prompting and him continuously asking if I wanted to go in that direction, within a month, I was in a master's program to get my administrative licensure and to get my master's degree in administration. So all that being said is I didn't really have a roadmap. As you can see on this slide here, I live in Colorado. My family and I love going hiking. And when we go hiking, typically we have a map either in paper form on our phone, or there might be even a map in the parking lot where we go to. And we've gone not only in Colorado, but all over the United States. It's something that our family loves to do. Now, we went about 7 years ago to find a place called Lost Lake. It's out in the Colorado area near Buena Vista. You drive up the mountain, and at this time there was no pathway, and there was a place to hike, but you literally had to go through the woods to find the Lost Lake. Now, it was a hot mess. We tried to guess where we needed to park. We guessed where we thought we should hike. I mean, kids lost shoes in the snow. It was a very long journey to find absolutely nothing, which was extremely frustrating for our family. It definitely made a memory, but probably one that we hoped we would find our destination. Now, the reason I'm using this metaphor is, as a young leader, this is often what happens, right? We just think we're going to a destination and it's going to be easy and we're going to go from point A to point B. And maybe we even have a guide, right? We have a mentor on our campus that's going to help us get to where we want to be, get to the promotion or the position that we want, right? And unfortunately, what occurs is we get lost, we get frustrated, and sometimes we don't even get to the place. We just give up and go back to our car, right? So today, what I'm going to be talking about is specifically about the cohort model and why it's been successful in the past and why it might be a great opportunity for you to not make the same mistakes I made, which really elongated my journey to get to the place I wanted to be. Now, there's typically a gap here, and there's two directions, right? One is what I went on, the path, which was that I thought I needed to volunteer for everything. I got on every school campus committee known to man. I also then started to volunteer myself for extra duties, right? Like being the admin on duty for a football game or a basketball game, trying to do extra duties after school to make sure that all the kids got on the bus. I also jumped into the cafeteria duty, right? And then also in addition to that, I started to try to lead everything also. So, lead NGHS, fine arts, yearbook. There's probably more I can't think of at the moment, but just volunteering everything and realizing that when I got to that interview process and they started asking those questions about the knowledge and the things that I needed to do, not only on the campus level, but at the district level, I saw that there was a huge gap in my experiences. And then I started to think and talk about what I would do versus what I did. And that was a drastic difference, which was noticeable for the district leaders. And what I really needed to do was have a strategic plan to position myself against other people in the district, but also have that leadership proof of saying, no, I've done all of these different things and these experiences. But what happened was I just didn't have that roadmap. I didn't have anyone saying, no, you don't have to volunteer for all these things. Although it helped my campus, it didn't do anything with those district leaders to understand that I was the perfect person to move into. And in that district, it was the dean of student role before moving into assistant principal. Now, every district's different throughout the country, but you get the understanding of like that was the stepping stone that I wanted to take moving forward. Okay, so why this got constructed. So about 10 years ago, I started an aspiring leadership program with a couple other APs in our district. This was something that the district wanted because we were not really building leaders in our district. And what they were finding was it actually cost more money to find outside candidates to bring in. Plus, you had to train them and see if it worked out as far as them being leaders. So they wanted us to build that within our district. So what happened was each campus provided 1 to 3 candidates, and they got into this aspiring leader program. We met every month. And what we saw at the end was that we saw a 90% promotion rate. And what that means is that most of the folks that were in this leadership cohort, aspiring leadership cohort, was saying, okay, I love what I'm seeing here. I may want to do this not only at the campus level, but I also might want to do this at the district level. And that's exactly what they did. And they had enough built over that year to say, okay, I can apply for these different positions. And then we were finding great success as far as setting them up to be promoted. And so that's where that rate comes from. In addition to that, I started to do some coaching, both on the campus level, district level, but then even people that would reach out to me at the national level. So all that being said is district, because we had so much success, took that away from us and brought it on themselves. And so the district leaders started to have their own aspiring leadership program that they were constructing and taking over. And so for myself, I love that. I long to do it more. And so I started to build stuff just on my own. I was a part of a principals association and I started constructing things for aspiring leaders. And that light bulb moment was when I did something on, again, a Thursday night like this. I said, we'll be meeting for 90 minutes. And I had some activities and things, guest speakers, whatnot. And I had 150 people just from my own district show up for that event. And that's when I realized, oh, there's a ton of people out there that are seeking information, that are hungry, that don't have potentially a mentor or the pathway needed to be where they want to get to that next level. So that's where this Aspire Leader cohort is coming from. And why the program works as far as, the Aspire Leader cohort is because it's modeled from a program that's already been created before that I got to be a part of. In addition to the coaching that I've done for 10 years now. The community is supportive. It's there of a bunch of people trying to get to the same goal. And the most knowledgeable person in the room is the room. And so we're going to have a bunch of people coming together that have different expertise, different knowledge, different experiences that are all going to help each other to get to that final goal and whatever that may be for yourself. The other thing I will say, on my campus, I did not have a very healthy community. I had 6 other people on my campus that were all striving to become administrators, but there wasn't a community of support. It was a community of division. It was of trying to beat the other person to get to that next level before anyone else. And sometimes it was extremely toxic. So what this cohort is going to be is something that's going to, provide hope, help you through hard times. It's going to be people that are going to give you recommendations and also try to, provide a little bit of support when you may not be feeling like you have the skills needed to move forward. The other thing is that you're going to get expert training. So 2 times a month, we're going to jump on Zoom. I'm going to give you weekly support. We're going to do that through Facebook. And we're also going to do that through Boxer. And we're also going to have career tools for you. So ways to build that portfolio, how to prepare for an interview. Branding building is you are your own brand. You need to make sure that you are your own calling card as far as people understanding what you stand for. I see Something coming in right now. The other thing too is a roadmap, right? So we're going to have what's typically what looks like a weekly plan. We got Zoom workshop on leadership. We got the daily Voxer support and accountability. Then we got the end of the month Zoom and progress check-in. Hey, Dr. Tracy, I'm just in the middle of this. I'm recording it and I'll be sending out the link for everyone also. So I'm just going to keep going through my spiel here. And as we end, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know either in the chat or you can unmute. So the solution, which is the roadmap for this program, is how it's going to look like for the month is week one, we're going to have a Zoom workshop, and that's going to either be on the weekend or after school. Those are going to fluctuate because I want to make sure that we have enough time for everyone. Week 2 and 4 is going to be your daily support through Voxer, but then also to allow some accountability from those who are in the program, because it's one thing to have a goal in mind, but it's another to have that support and people continuously giving you, an idea of what accountability is to move forward to your goal. And then lastly, at the end of the month, we're going to have that Zoom and progress check-in. And that's going to be something that's consistent to make sure that we're doing some reflection on what's happening, but also where we want to go moving forward. As far as the year, this is just an example, but here's a month by month as far as 1 through 4. Obviously, if you do the annual plan, that's going to be a 12-month program. That's going to look a little bit different and more extended. But really, it's just, again, trying to get you to that next level for your journey. All right. All this is predicated on Aspire to Lead and the Aspire model. So throughout everything that we do, we're going to make sure that we're going through this. So that's activate, support, persevere, identify, reflect, and execute. And all those things, it's not like a one word per month type situation. It's just something that we're going to be continuously looking at through each of the Zooms, and what those each word actually is going to be. So activate is actually getting off, right? Like off the couch, off out of your room. It's doing something beyond what you would do within your role. And so often I had aspiring leaders come into my office and be like, "Oh, I want to be a leader someday. I want to be an assistant principal. I want to be just a leader," and then I would never see them again. And so that activation piece, let some more folks in. I'm gonna let Don know also. Hey, what's up, Don? I'm just going through my spiel. I'm recording this and I'll be sending out the link. I'm about 17 minutes in. I'm just talking about the Aspire model and how that's going to be used with this cohort. So activate meaning you need to go beyond your classroom, beyond your role. Support, that's what that is going to look like with this cohort model, is people are going to be able to, give you guidance and support throughout your journey here with this cohort. Perseverance being the fact that we're going to see some really, really difficult times, especially as a teacher going into a leadership position. I know for myself, the role of what I did on the campus changed, but also how people perceive me changed. And so that was very, very difficult. And I think the cohort's going to be able to give you some guidance as far as what that's going to look like moving forward. Identify, what is your leadership style? What is it going to look like for you as a leader? I think sometimes there are expectations that are going to be put on you that are not what you believe in. And so you're going to have that tough time too of identifying what are your main goals and how are you going to lead moving forward. The reflection process is something we're going to be doing throughout this cohort model. We're going to do that also with each other. And then the execution piece is obviously taking what we're learning and being able to transform that into success on our campus or within our district. All right. So there's two paths. And if you go to joshsamber.com/leadership cohort, you're going to get a lot more information. The path two, I'm really not going to talk about today because I really want to just talk about the cohort model. But the coaching program is a more in-depth thing. I will say that that's more for looking at like a rapid advancement and more one-on-one. There's a personal site visit that's attached to that too. And then, of course, there's 12 months of direct coaching and support, which is different. Of course, you're going to get everything that's the community benefits, but like I said, I'm not going to talk much about that. The core membership, though, if you're interested, is going to be something that is going to have that support, like I've talked about, where you can have a community, something that's more structured for you. For the first 10 members, I just want to say that you're going to have a 30% off on the annual plan. So you can do month to month, but for those who are interested in doing something for a full year, if you're the first 10 members, you're my founding members, I'm going to give you an additional discount, which is 30% off. So that'll come out to $499 annually. So I just want to mention that for those who are interested in that. The second path, the premium coaching, of course, you can go on the website and get way more information about that. But I did want to mention it today. So I have a QR code here. This is for the application. It literally will take you like 3 minutes. It's pretty short. But if you're interested, want to see if this is a good fit for you, as far as the Aspire Lead cohorts, feel free to fill that out, and I'll make sure I'm getting back to you 24 hours once I get that application. And I just wanted to mention again, the first 10 get that founding member price. I want to start and kick this off December 1st, so that'll give us a full month of getting people to sign up and see if this is something that makes sense for them. Obviously, if you have more questions, you can throw in the chat, or you can definitely email me. I know I got a couple folks in here, so if you do have any questions, I know you probably missed a good portion of the beginning parts where I was talking about why I constructed this. But if you have any questions on the program or anything I've said, feel free to throw that in the chat. You can definitely unmute, or if you feel like you don't want to, throw that out in the Zoom, you can email me at joshua@joshtamber.com, or you can DM me on Instagram, X at Joshua_Stamper. And again, the website here is joshtamber.com/leadership-cohorts, which will give you some more information on that.